the Greek national team for the first match in Nations League against Northern Ireland tomorrow. Together with us is, of course, our coach, Mr. Pogιέτ, and Mr. Giacomakis. They're here to respond to your questions. We will start with questions for our player. So we have...
Yes, please. Hi, George.
Hello. Fine, how are you?
Just wondering, you've had a long, tough season, as many of the players in the Northern Ireland team have, and to come and play these June fixtures, how easy has it been to get ready for those at the end of a tough season?
Yeah, well, it wasn't easy, of course, because my last game was 16, 17 of May, so I had to train. And you know what? When you try to prepare yourself just with trainings, it's not that easy. But our squad had big motivation. We want to prove ourselves in the Nations League. We want to win, to make something great for our nation. And well, we are really positive. We're really optimistic, and we hope we can do something really good starting from tomorrow.
Yes, continue.
You had a great goal return this season. Are you feeling in confident mood going into it?
Yeah, well, I'm confident. Just trying to do my job. I'm getting paid for what I do. This is my job. So for me, scoring some goals, it's part of my job. I'm not feeling that I'm doing something special. This is my position in the field. This is my duty.
Have you been acting as a scout for some of the Scottish-based players in the Northern Ireland team? You think of Stephen Davis at Rangers and Lafferty and other Niall McGinn. Have you been passing on information about those players and coming up against them?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, just have you been acting as a bit of a scout for your...
You pass me information if you give me information about...
Yeah, well, I don't have to pass too many information. We're well prepared, and first of all, we know that Northern Ireland's style of play is going to be pretty much the same like Scotland, so we're all aware of that. But I think we will try to make our game. We try to look our team and to be to impose our intensity in the game and to be the team that will make the game.
A lot of people look at the history of Greek football and think about the famous Euros win in 2004. It's always been, you know, the perception is that everyone wanted Greece to win at that time because everyone loves an underdog story. What do you think that did for the next generation of young Greek footballers, and how motivated are you all to try and get back to reaching those levels of major tournaments?
Yeah, it was something really amazing. In 2004, is a dream that came true. It's something that these players in the past, they made their story, they made history. It's something really important for our nation. When you have this kind of success, you have to protect that trophy. You have to protect that mentality. We know that we're missing from that success for many years, almost 20 years. So we want to make to write our own history with our nation. We try to work a lot, and this is the plan we have for the future. We have to have our own success.
More questions from local media.
How do you feel about having to play so many games in the summer? This is Northern Irish summer, obviously. How do you feel about playing games at this time of year when you've had a long soccer season?
Well, thank God the temperature is not like Greece, so
True.
It's easier here. When we have to play our games in Greece, then I will have to think about it again.
But it's a long season, four games at the end of a season where you would normally be playing at this time of year.
Yeah, well, I'm still thirsty. I'm still hungry because I didn't have a full season. I had some injuries. I cannot speak for other players. I can imagine that it's going to be really difficult for them. Playing like almost 40, 50 games, it's insane. But for me, it's like I start the second part of the season.
And will you start your pre-season later then, or
Not too much, 10 days maximum.
so a shorter holiday?
Yeah.
Okay, and what about Northern Ireland? Have you seen much of them? Because they qualified when they played Greece the last time that they played Greece. So it has good memories for Northern Ireland. For Greece, maybe not so good.
Yeah, well, we watched some videos from the opposition team. As I said before, we're well prepared. But I'm thinking only about my team. We have to make our game, nothing else.
And finally, just about the Nations League, as a player, do you like the concept, the fact that there's A, B, C, D, you're playing teams that are really going to be going for each other rather than a defensive team?
Yeah, well, Nations League is a league that it's not about qualification. It's not about the Euro. It's not about the World Cup. It's another league that we want to pass through the next round. This is our target to end up like first in the group, and I think we will give our best.
Can we go on with Greek questions? Έχετε ερωτήσεις για τον Γιώργο? Ναι, ελληνικά πλέον. Ναι.
Στα ρώτησαν λιγότερο αυτά τα μάτς, τα περισσότερα και τα λοιπά. Πάνω στο πρακτικό του δικό μας καινούργιος προπονητής, ξέρουμε και ξέρετε τις δυνατότητες της ομάδας. Πόσο σημαντικό είναι αυτό το πρώτο παιχνίδι για όλους και για όλο το γκρουπ να ξεκινήσει τελικά.
Αρχικά νομίζω ότι ούτε εμείς οι ίδιοι γνωρίζουμε ακριβώς τις δυνατότητες μας. Πιστεύουμε πάρα πολύ σε αυτούς μας, αλλά νομίζω ότι όταν οι επιδιώξεις, επιτυχίες και αυτές έρχονται, τότε πιστεύεις όλο και πιο πολύ στην ομάδα και στον εαυτό σου ακόμα περισσότερο. Οπότε νομίζω ότι αρχής γενομένης από αύριο, αν ξεκινήσουμε το δεξί και πάρουμε ένα σημαντικό αποτέλεσμα εδώ, θα πιστεύουμε όλο και πιο πολύ στον εαυτό μας. Νομίζω θα αρχίσουμε να γινόμαστε πιο εγωιστές. Θα αποκτήσουμε μέταλλο σαν ομάδα, κάτι το οποίο χρειαζόμαστε πάρα πολύ. Οπότε νομίζω ότι είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό για μας να πάμε καλά στο Nations League. Σημαίνει πάρα πολλά για μας. Ίσως σε κάποιες άλλες χώρες να περνάει διάφορα, αλλά για μας κάθε άλλο.
Παρακαλώ.
Γιώργο, φαντάζομαι ξέρετε ότι ίσως για πρώτη φορά στην ιστορία της Εθνικής Ομάδας 15 παίκτες έρχονται με τρόπαιο σε μια αποστολή και άλλοι αρκετοί με νίκη στο play-off που έβγαλαν τις ομάδες του Ευρώπη. Ακόμα και το Μαυροπάνο τελευταία μας είναι επιτυχία όταν έχει δώσει φορές σε δεκάδες τη χρονιά.
Ναι.
Αυτό τη συνέχεια σας το συζητάτε, σας αυξάνει την αυτοπεποίθηση η οποία δημιουργεί μια προσωπικότητα στην ομάδα.
Σίγουρα. Είναι νομίζω η χρονιά που ως επιτοπλίστων οι ποδοσφαιριστές, νομίζω όλοι οι ποδοσφαιριστές, είμαστε στο πικ της καριέρας μας. Είμαστε όλοι στο ψηλότερο επίπεδο που έχουμε υπάρξει ατομικά. Σίγουρα ερχόμαστε από μεγάλες επιτυχίες συλλογικά, κάτι το οποίο μας δίνει αυτοπεποίθηση. Κάτι το οποίο όταν είσαι πρωταθλητής στην ομάδα σου, κάνει να είσαι πρωταθλητής παντού. Οπότε και εδώ, όταν ερχόμαστε, έχουμε απαιτήσει από τους εαυτούς μας και από την ομάδα. Είμαστε αισιόδοξοι, πιστεύουμε πάρα πολύ στην ομάδα μας. Δεν το λέω για να το πω. Πραγματικά πιστεύουμε πάρα πολύ στην ομάδα μας και στον συμπαίκτη που έχουμε δίπλα μας. Και είμαστε αισιόδοξοι. Νομίζω ότι μπορούμε να κάνουμε ωραία πράγματα.
Άλλες ερωτήσεις? Βεβαίως.
Ο μέσος όρος της ομάδας, όπως το βλέπαμε το πρωί, ηλικιακά τώρα, είστε 26 ετών. Πολύ καλή μουσική. Τι εμπειρία έχετε. Εάν τα καταφέρετε, και πάτε στη μεγάλη
And go to the next Euro. You will be 28 average.
δεν είστε ούτε μια πολύ νέα ομάδα,
Not sure
να
though.
είστε παιδιά
You're not
πάρα πολλά
old.
παιδιά, 22, 23, 24 χρονών, αλλά και να μην έχετε και πάρα πολλούς άνθρωποι.
Σίγουρα. Αρχικά, το ότι έχουμε κάποιες εμπειρίες πλέον, νομίζω ότι θα μας βοηθήσει πάρα πολύ στη διαχείριση των παιχνιδιών. Έχουμε οριμάσει όλοι μας. Απ' την άλλη, είμαστε σε μια ηλικία, στην ιδανική ηλικία, θα έλεγα, όπου ναι, δεν είμαστε άπειροι, αλλά είμαστε και διψασμένοι ακόμα, γιατί δεν έχουμε πετύχει πράγματα με την εθνική μας ομάδα. Ακόμα και ατομικά είμαστε διψασμένοι για πράγματα με την ομάδα μας, με το στο σύλλογο που ανοίγουμε. Θέλουμε να έχουμε επιτυχίες. Έχουμε αρχίσει να έχουμε κάποιες επιτυχίες με τις ομάδες μας και θέλουμε να το φέρουμε και εδώ αυτό. το χρειαζόμαστε όλοι. Όχι μόνο οι ποδοσφαιριστές, όχι μόνο το staff, όχι μόνο εσείς, όλος ο κόσμος, όλοι οι Έλληνες.
Okay.
Πώς λειτουργήσε η παρουσία ενός πρωταθλητή Ευρώπης με την εθνική ομάδα στην πρώτη καραμπίνη στις πρώτες ομάδες?
Σίγουρα ήταν ένα booster για μας, ήταν μια ωραία επίσκεψη. Νομίζω μας ενέπνευσε όλους. Είναι πολύ σημαντικό να έχεις γύρω από την εθνική ομάδα ανθρώπους οι οποίοι είναι καταξιωμένοι στον χώρο. Έχουν πετύχει πολύ σημαντικά πράγματα. Σίγουρα είναι ευλογία για μας να είναι δίπλα μας και ο Τάκης και ο κ. Κωνσταντινίδης. Είναι άνθρωποι οι οποίοι έχουν πετύχει φοβερά πράγματα και με την εθνική ομάδα και ατομικά. Οπότε νομίζω ότι μας βοήθησε πάρα πολύ. Μας μπρίζωσε, θα έλεγα. Μας έδωσε ένα κίνητρο παραπάνω. Μας έδωσε κάποιες συμβουλές σίγουρα, οι οποίες θα μείνουν μεταξύ μας και νομίζω θα τις θυμάμαι για πολύ καιρό. Σίγουρα ήταν κάτι το οποίο χρειαζόμασταν.
Okay. Okay. So let's continue with questions for our coach. For Mr. Poggiét.
Yes. Hi.
What are you expecting from this Northern Ireland?
Intensity, energy, desire. A group that they've been playing together a few, they got young players that they had a long season as well, with some experienced players and a nice mixed. So we know more or less what to expect. The problem is that, football, tomorrow the game starts. Apparently it's going to be raining in the afternoon. Things that can happen during the game nowadays. But I think we are ready, even if a few players, they only train twice, 2 days. It's no complaint. For everybody the same quantity of games that they play, most of the Irish players, these guys they play. We had 2 playing playoff final on Sunday, and they arrive in Monday evening, so in Holland. So it's more or less the same for everyone.
The under 8 Barraclough, they seem to have mixed up with different formations, 3-4-3, 3-5-2.
Mm-hmm.
4-3-3 times. Are you expecting them being the home team and having been in League B come out quite quickly? Or are you expecting that kind of attacking performance from them?
Well, they normally it's natural in the position that we are, both teams in FIFA ranking. Makes that sometimes, depending on the position, you play one way or the other. If you go to the qualification games against Italy, Italy was coming here to try to win, and it was one kind of game. Then you go to the friendlies, it's a different one. You can play a little bit more open. But at the end of the day, is to be ready. Most of the time, I think last year we were playing as a team, even if I was not there, with 3 at the back as well. Now we changed a little bit to 4 lately, but we need to be ready. The players nowadays, they know how to play against different systems. We try to help them as much as we can until tomorrow, the last 5 minutes before we go to the pitch, and then it's up to the 22 players on the pitch.
We're trying to work out if you had been over here before, and today a few of us were talking, and we thought about, I think you and Dennis Wiley.
I'm gonna tell you the story because you're gonna like it, and everybody can hear. We had David Healy with us, and for some reason David was on fire with Ireland, and we couldn't make him score with Leeds. He was like, so we said, let's go and watch him live. And we came here, and we sat down there to watch an incredible game. And obviously David, as expected, he scored after 20 minutes or 30 minutes. The part that was quite interesting was when the whole stadium started singing, "Are you watching?" Dennis Wise. I tried to get away from Wisey, but he grabbed me back. I think it was the only time I was here. I don't remember being here another time, so that's my experience. Let's hope that it's a nice game of football tomorrow.
How are you finding management with the great team? It's a job that you took in February.
Yeah.
How are you finding it?
So far, I like it. Plenty of analysis. I tried to find information. I talked to different people during the last 4 or 5 years, just in case it was coming an international job. I remember talking to Roberto Martinez a few years back. I even met in one of the LMA dinners Ryan Giggs. He was a Welsh And everyone got an opinion about, what happened when you finish a run of games and the last one you won and you go into a little bit of rest with a win, that when you lost and then you need to wait 2 months until it's coming back the next game. So but I've been watching football a lot. I've been analyzing. I've been following them massively. It's different. It's different, but I can pick certain players. I'm sure that when I gave the list, a few people that I know, most of the Greek players, they were, oh, him, or him. That's the difference. We can pick certain players in certain moments. And he was telling the Greek press that we had plenty of success today, individually, the players, in different countries. And they're coming all together. So in terms of the moment, the motivation, the confidence, that word that we use a lot in football, confidence, individually, we are very good. Now it's up to me now to put it together. So we are expecting to have a good tournament.
Just a final one, if you can forgive me.
Yeah.
From the game, a lot of people associate you with your time at Chelsea as a player. And I just wonder if you have any thoughts on this new era for them and the takeover and what the future could look like for your former club.
Well, it was tough during the last 4 months. When we are in, we try to say to people, no, it doesn't affect the players, but it does massively. You are there every day listening, waiting. You don't know what's going to happen to you. Players without contract, players maybe want you to leave. You cannot do practically anything because you need to wait until it's complete. Now we need to wait and see what the new man is going to do. I hope it's another 10 years or 15 of success like it was with Abramovich. Thank you.
I just wonder, the concept of having 4 games and being quite fairly new in the job, is that something it's great for you because you get the players for longer than you probably would normally have?
Yeah, but everybody's saying that it's the first time it happened to Greece in I don't know how many years. Everybody has two, and coming 4, bang. Welcome to the National League. I think for us it's important because when I spend time with them, even with the Jaco now in the car, I start knowing them personally as well. And for me it's important because we know the player, but the player is in Scotland and I'm in Greece, but we don't know the person, how he thinks. So I spend time with them and try to know them a little bit more.
I put the same question to the Northern Ireland manager. I said it's like a mini Euros or a mini World Cup because it's 4 games. Does that feel that you're kind of targeting 12 points or 9 points or 10 points, or what's your point target for these 4 games?
I always think that the next game is the most important, for sure. Okay. Now, yes. The problem is that if you want me to sign now that we lose tomorrow and we win the other 5 and we win the group, I sign it and we don't play it. We go home holidays with the Jaco. Now we don't know, so we need to concentrate on tomorrow's game.
But I mean, because the teams are so easily matched.
Well, look, it took me a while to understand the National League from outside. I couldn't get it. Now that I'm in, I think for certain teams it's interesting. You know how difficult it is when you are in FIFA ranking too high, and then you get to a qualifications and you get 1, 2, or 3 top teams, and then for you it's practically impossible to get there. And then the National League give teams in every level, the possibility to compete with teams that you must win. It's like a little bit of more responsibility. It's not like, oh, we play in France, world champions, or we play in Portugal, European champions. It's like, now there is not that, it's more or less. So you need to prove yourself. It's a little bit more pressure as well, I think, without talking about the tournament itself. But I think it's good for certain teams. And I'm even thinking about the one at the bottom, that they suffer defeat, and then they're going to play against the one at the bottom all the time, which gives a chance to feel that win. That is so nice for everyone. We see. Going back to one of the questions you asked, it's too many games. National team, coaches, European champions, wherever. It's too many. If we want to see top football, we need to find a way of reducing somehow. And I respect the television, because we are all here because of them. Let's be honest. But, we want to see the best games at the top level, and we want to see the best players every week. And for that, sometimes, as the ones that they play 46 games in the championship, and they went to the final in Huddersfield, and now they need to wait another 46 next year. You never finish. It's long. And now you need to go with the national team after losing a final. It's tough. But we are in. We like it. So here we are.
But if you get to the Euros, this is what you have.
Yeah, me, look, I was very lucky. I didn't play a lot with Uruguay. In the beginning, when I was young, because it was a group of players that was excellent, I got lucky to get in the middle, and I went to one Copa America, and I won it. That's it. See you later. I don't care about the rest. Regrets, yeah, I didn't play a World Cup. But for me, winning with my country, I'm telling you, you cannot compare with nothing. Nothing, absolutely nothing. It's the best that can happen to anyone. Thank you.
You kind of mentioned getting to know the players. How much are you still learning about your team, your squad, and the way that is best for you?
A lot, every day. Sometimes we try to know, like I said, certain characteristics to make a team, because I like to play a style of football, but then you need to adapt as well to, the history of Greece, the characteristics of the Greek players. I had a little bit of experience because I was in there in 2016 in AEK. So I know a little bit football from inside, and I'm spending time watching games and even training sessions of some clubs. So I'm like any manager, time. Time is great for us, but I know that I need to win to gain time. And if we put that two together, we're going to be better.
I guess Northern Ireland will have watched the videos of your friendlies from March.
Yes.
You've had a bit more time maybe to adapt. When you played those games, you've not had very long a charge.
No.
Is your team going to look different tomorrow?
By the way, it's a great question. Look, I had one feeling when we finished the game with Romania, and a totally different when we lost against Montenegro. And then we go together. And then you start to make a step back and think carefully. And not forget the good things that we've done, but also the players that you're going to have, because we lost, for example, Pelkas that is injured, so you need to find certain things, but also use the momentum of the players. I remember when Jaku came, he was on fire, and we got very good strikers, and I thought the momentum of him, it was perfect to play him against Romania. And we played probably the best 45 minutes of the 4 halves. So that is in your mind, obviously, that was here. The idea is just to make sure that I pick the right players. That's my responsibility now. It's different to the club, creating an identity or something to win. Here is pick, right? Even in Spanish is better, no? The selection. And that's what we try.
So let's go on with the second part. For Greek media, you have questions. Εν τω μεταξύ, Γιώργο, εσύ μπορείς να φύγεις αν θέλεις να προλάβεις την προπόνηση. Ναι. Ό,τι θέλεις. Ναι, ερωτήσεις, ναι.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Gracias. Do you see the